The Chevy SS is considered to be the ultimate sleeper sedan, at least in my opinion. We also have the STI and the Evo, and those are also great choices. But for the Chevy SS, $40,000 is a hard pill to swallow. So here are some comparable sleeper sedans under $15,000. The 2006 Audi S4 has to be the first. Equipped with a 340 horsepower, 4.2 liter V8 with a 0-60 of 5.2 seconds, which is far from the Chevy, but at this price point is pretty good. Which, by the way, the B7 was the last year Audi threw in a V8 in the S4. So if you like V8s, this is the year for you. And the S4 has a screaming redline of 7,000 RPMs. Always gotta throw in the exhaust clip here and there. Let's talk about the gearbox. High-power sedans with manual gearbox are becoming a thing in the past, or kinda already has, and especially since the Chevy SS. Which is why we're talking about the S4, because it came with an optional 6-speed manual, or 6-speed auto. Obviously, you'll get the manual. It's a V8, it's a manual, it's an all-wheel drive. What more can you ask for? Maybe a bit more reliability. The main issue with these cars are timing chain rattles. It starts as a cold start rattle, then a warm start rattle. This would indicate the guide's going bad and you need to do a timing chain service, which is expensive. You can find one right now for about $12,000 with right over 100,000 miles. Be sure to check if the chain, guides, and tensioner has been replaced, because they should be replaced around this time, because it's somewhat of a known failure point on these S4s. 2010 Dodge Charger RT. One of the next most notable sleeper sedans is the Dodge Charger RT. It has a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi with 370 horsepower that achieves a 5.2 second 0-60, which is pretty impressive for a heavier car. The Charger is a pretty sweet car and can be found as a police interceptor, beater car, and trash from hooligans, or from a one-owner family. Here's one with 63,000 miles for $15K. And honestly, the Dodge Charger's exhaust isn't my favorite, but it still sounds so good. Now I have to speak about the most common issues with the Dodge Chargers, and that's the Hemi tick. So you have the camshaft and you have the crankshaft. The crankshaft spins around and basically lubricates the camshaft. Now, when the Dodge Charger is at idle, this is not spinning as erratic, so the lubrication isn't spinning up to the lifters as efficiently as it would be while you're driving the car around. So the lifters end up going bad due to poor lubrication, and when the lifters go bad, the camshaft goes bad because the lifters can scratch the camshaft. So if you want a police interceptor, just know that it most likely will have that issue at one point, because police cars stay at idle all the time. And no, sadly, they do not come in manual. 2005 Cadillac CTS-V. The very first generation of the CTS, GM wanted the V. That's right, they threw in a 5.7 liter V8 LS motor with 400 horsepower, better anti-roll bars, beefed up shocks and springs, stronger diff, and a 4-piston Brembo brakes. All this packaged into a little beast of a car that can achieve a 4.9 second 0-60. It's a quick car, and I personally have always loved the look of the CTS, and the V is just a bit better. The exhaust is like whipped cream on top of a creamy chocolate blizzard. Here's a little known secret. It comes in manual, only. Not really a secret, which is just a cherry on top. The main issue is the rear end whining, which means you'll probably need to replace the rear end gears. Not a fun job to do, but it's better than the pumpkin grenading, and you'll have to fork out an entire new rear diff. Here's one with 132,000 miles for right under $15,000. These LS motors are known to last a very long time. 2010 for a TAURUS SHO. The show is the most exciting on this list. The most. Ford's goal was to create a sleeper sedan, and they did exactly that. And it's a pretty sweet car. After all, it has a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 with a 6-speed auto, paired with manual shift controls. So it's basically the same as a Chevy SS. Hopefully you have all caught on that being sarcastic. Chevy SS came with a manual as an option. Anyways, it does have a 5.2 second 0-60 and a carb appeal of an average sedan, yet many people don't know it's a quick car. The shell used to be much cooler, but now it's heavier and much larger. The V6 Camry is even a nice competition against it. Anyway, after all this shit talk, I still think it deserves to be on this list. Here's one for $11,000 with right over 100,000 miles. 2010 BMW 550i. I mean, if any car could compete against a Chevy SS, it has to be a BMW, because the prices of BMWs tank like a rock. The 550 is equipped with a twin-turbo 4.4 liter V8 with 407 horsepower. All this is paired with a ZF 8-speed auto, which gives it a 4.6 second 0-60. The ZF autos are known to be a bit quirky, mainly because they learn your driving style, and to be honest, an aftermarket exhaust sounds real mean. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. The interior is also very high quality and a cabin that you'd love to be in. Now, there is a not so common issue that you should be aware of, and that's oil consumption. When you're checking one of these out and the catalytic converter has been replaced, then more than likely that car is burning oil, and you should avoid it and look for another clean example. Once again, having maintenance records is extremely important. Here's a GT for $12,000 with under 100,000 miles. The CTS-V is my favorite on this list. Comment yours down below. These sleeper sedans are all pretty sweet, but so are these 300 horsepower sports cars under 10K. Always appreciate and respect one another. I'll see you next time.